You're standing on the Spocott property, which has been in our family since 1663. It was a land grant from Lord Baltimore, and we've been able to keep it in the family. And it was originally the site of a major shipbuilding operation up to the Civil War, and it's been farmed ever since. This 250 acres is well preserved because it's been under an environmental easement with the Maryland Environmental Trust since 1974. But I also wanted to preserve the woodland. When a property's been in your family for 350 years, you want it to be here. It's still in the family after you're gone. And an easement is a nice way of protecting it. When I walk into that woods, I'm walking into family history. That's where my great-grandfather went in and got the timber for building all of his ships. He built a number of windmills in the area. All the timber came out of that. So we had a large block, and I was looking for a way to preserve it. There wasn't much of a market for timber, and I didn't really see, in terms of promoting wildlife, I saw a more diverse woodland as being much better for wildlife, obviously, than something that was all pine, for example.
Most areas that need restoration have been impacted by humans in one way or the other. Whether it's like here on the Eastern Shore with agriculture, also with planting pine plantations. Those are our two ripe candidates for restoration here on the Eastern Shore. It usually involves plugging ditches or planting different varieties of hardwood and clearing out the pine a little bit. This area has always and historically been a very wet, because we are so flat, so close to the ocean. It's just been a very wet area, so we want to get back to that original time, because the species around here really rely on that type of habitat.
For the Agricultural Conservation Easement Program, wetland reserve easements, the type of land that's really good for that is some marginal land, some land that probably was previously drained and hasn't been restored yet. That land could be forest land, woodland, cropland. Those are the types of lands that would be best for the program. Some people come to our program as they're looking for alternatives. They're thinking about what they've been doing on the property and it maybe isn't working out, and so they want to know what else is out there and what else is available as far as managing their property. Some are hunters who want to increase wildlife habitat. Some folks just have had this land in their family for generations and want to preserve the historical nature of the area. Besides the environmental benefit and helping their community, the USDA does compensate the landowners for the value of the rights that they are giving up. And we purchased an easement price based upon the fair market value in the region.
This seemed to fit the bill in terms of what I was looking for. We have the easement, so it's preserved, plus we have, ever-improving wildlife habitat with the WRE project.
We plugged, I think, put in about 8 ditch plugs in the forested area to, like I said, bring the water level up. We planted about, so far we've planted, I think it's about 2 acres of hardwood trees, kind of on the edge of a field leading into the forest to kind of start that hardwood reclamation of the pine area. Mr. Radcliffe is a big birder, and he has noticed quite an influx of different species coming into the area.
We've got nesting barred owls in there, and both tanagers nesting and Acadian flycatcher. So there's there's some good deep forest birds in there. One of the things my grandfather I remember telling me is that he never considered himself an owner. He said, but I am a steward. He said, I have a responsibility to preserve and continue, what I started with. And we sort of had the same attitude here. So it's preserving the history and preserving the environment.